Am I
No,
wrong?
something very different.
You talking about the Lansing, right?
Oh no, old school bread talker. I'm talking about like I'm talking about ripping it around, rhyming and spit. That's the way Dylan spit. Yeah, spit hot fire, literally. uh, here we go. All right. So now this is now as far as the indicators, right? This is the indicators that I use. The zigzag. I use the zigzag. If or you can just go here to the second block here, and where it got what it was the zigzag here. I use a zigzag, and the reason I use a zigzag is it gives you a leverage of confirmation of the trend of where it's going. So this is on what I use. It's a zigzag. What you see here? Yep. So that's and one another benefit of using a zigzag is it helps you visualize what the area is being respected also. So that's another benefit of it. So as far as the moving average, I use the EMA 50. And that's what this is. This is the EMA 50.
The red line?
Yep. Okay. The EMA 50, yep. That's what I use. And that also holds benefits too. Because one thing about the EMA 50, the 50 is pretty much literally the red line that draws bullish and being bearish. And the 50 and binary option, the 50 is the, to me, is one of the most important indicators, because this is about scalping. It's about the 5 second, 10 second, 15 second. So, and one thing about 50 is it gives you the incremental direction or change. So that's why I choose the 50. And also, in addition to the 50 line, is also an area that tend to be well respected also. And then the parabolic SAR. And Dre, I know you know a lot about the parabolic SAR.
Yes, sir.
Yes. You introduced me to that. You introduced me to the parabolic SAR. That's also an indicator that okay, it's changing direction in a quick of a basically quicker than the intermediate change, at least the beginning of a change of direction. Pretty much. And then this right here, as far as the fractal.
Hey, what's going on, Tasha?
Normally we had it on the fractal. Like I said, it has some level of importance. Usually, if you have pointed up, usually it's ready to change the direction going the other way. Pretty much. That's all that is. That's like an extra sauce, pretty much. So do you 100% need that? No. But would it help? Yes, it will. Because I'm going to go over this again. So, like I said, don't worry about it. I'm on y'all. So, here is the good part here. All of it's the good part. But so now, the structure that I use by default mostly, I use the 5 second time frame. I use a 5 second time frame here. And of course, I use Hikinashi. You know, I'm the Hikanashi Slaughter. That's what some may call me, but I'm a Hikanashi man mostly. Okay. Now, now I got that in place, and normally on the time of execution, I use the 5 second mostly. Sometimes I might use the 10 second, but less likely the time, and sometimes I might use the 30. But I leave that at another day. But this is the golden one I use. 5 second, the 5 and 5. I call it the 5 and 5. So the name of the strategy now. Here's what it is. Now let's start here. Let me see here. It's 92. Okay, good. We can use that. Y'all do y'all understand? This is kind of forex in. And one thing about binary options is one of the common candles you're gonna see is dojis, which y'all can see. So doji is in our strategy. The doji is one of the most important candles out this strategy. And now the second part is flat bottoms and top bottoms. And then the third component is momentum, because it's basically it's basically time based. And one of your best friends is not only direction, but momentum with the direction. Y'all with me so far?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Because like I said, this is something I've been utilizing for quite a while. I've been using try this since about 8-9 months before I even put the money in it. So now let's get on to it. So when you now what as far as the 5 seconds here, right? And one thing about when you hit like a doji, and then your next one is usually you want that next candle to be a flat bottom or a flat top. So what I'm going to do is get a visual of an example here. But sometimes you may not see it. Okay. We're going to get real simplistic here. So I'm just going to... Okay, good. This may be also. But now if you get a flat bottom, right? Okay, so if you get a doji, right? And the next candle is you want the next candle to be like on a flat top, which you see here. But on that flat top, you want to be a candle with momentum and strength. And then, okay, that's your first confirmation. Actually, but the doji and the flat is your first confirmation. Now, your second confirmation is another flat top. Okay. Okay, and then the third one, because this might be exact. Okay, because this could be just used for demonstration purposes. This is a little different, but now your thing is you want to have 3 flat tops with momentum, with sequence. Oh, this is perfect. I'm sorry, right here. Let's switch to this. So you see, there's a doji here, right? So you see a flat bottom, a flat bottom, a flat bottom. So you want to have 3 flat bottoms. But once you get that third flat bottom, now your fourth candle is going to be your candle of execution. Okay? But what you want to do is you want to wait till that fourth candle open up. So normally it's usually, of course, as far as like the 5 seconds. So a lot of times it's usually the fourth and the third second of the expiring number of that fourth candle. Now, on that fourth second, if this fourth candle have a showing of a momentum going up, that's when you really want to execute. It's that fourth candle is your execution. You sometimes the 5, but between the 5 and the 4, you really, a lot of times you want to see if you want this to show at least some sense of direction on the 5th and the 4th candle. I mean 5th and the 4th second of the 4th candle. Like here, right here, see, boom. Like, but okay, no, this one did. Okay, boom, there you go, bam. You see, it hit just now. Y'all see that?
Yeah, I saw it.
You see, then you see my example. So that fourth candle is your third candle. Is like, okay, it prepare for the fourth candle. And basically, long as you execute that with precision, that's why I say you want to say usually the fourth second, sometimes the third second. I mean, a third second expiring. Because sometimes if you prematurely go to the fourth candle, it can snatch you.
Mm-hmm.
Because the reason it does that, so basically I learned this from one of my mentors in Ghana. He trade binary options. And he said one thing about that fourth candle, he said that you use a lot of times, a lot of people, 95% people love to come in on the fourth candle prematurely. So as long as you want to wait, because what it does, that's what the brokers, everybody trap you. And that's when it usually when it snatch. But if you get that, and if it doesn't do anything, if it doesn't do anything on the 5th second, you might want to hold off. Usually it'll come with a nasty wick. It'll wick you out. So this is the candle execution. But in the midst of it, one thing, one thing about what Dr. Chef said, you want to look to your left also. Okay? You want to look on your left. You want to make sure there's no lady in the dress in that area. Okay? Because that's the area that somehow had a rejection. There's a reaction. So apparently, invisibly, there's something there that could cause it to react. But on another thing, you want to be careful is one thing you want to be careful also is the 50 line, because the 50 line is another area that the candle can be very reactive. That, and then at the same time, like I said, because this is kind of a rare scenario, because sometimes, because like the zigzag didn't even trace this on the up move. Sometimes you gotta have instinct. Sometimes you gotta have guts and instinct sometimes. But I just know that by just experience, because I kind of understand the candle movement. But this right here can help you support your decision also. But here's the thing. Here's another situation. Yes, this right here, okay? This is get real tricky, okay? Multiple times. Because this is not like the overnight banker. So you see there's a wick here. So you see the first flat, right? And you see a second flat. But the third flat is not it's a flat top, but this is not a committal flat top, because you see that it's closing in, or you see this candle This is that means that the area is basically reacting to the area here. Y'all see this?
Yep.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta have the eye for it because the third candle, a lot of times it'll say boom. It'll say boom. But this one, it kind of like reason why this candle looked like this because initially this third candle really slowed down. So when it slowed down like this, you do not commit. You do not execute on this fourth candle. Now you see the fourth candle. You see it's still slowing down. It's a slowdown. That means that the momentum apparently it has its brakes. So what you do is here's the thing. Then now guess what? Once you run into this, but then here's when this candle gain momentum again. Okay. It's hard to see and why still because it already happened. But I'm just telling you what happened. It led on to this. This is then. If this happens, then your sequence start over. Okay. So the first candle, the second candle. But here's the thing. When you run into this situation, basically your second candle in this situation, this candle is equivalent to the second candle. Okay. And so this could be when it runs into a situation, only if it runs into the situation like this, then this is you put it, call this your first and second candle. Okay. Your first and second candle, then your third candle. But in this, visually, you run into a situation, you're going to execute on the third candle, not the fourth. Y'all see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think I see what you're saying.
Yeah, this candle is literally your fourth candle. And only if you run into the situation like this. Because you run into the situation like this, these two here, you can call these two your first candle. But that means that it's positioning itself. It's just one of them things, the third candle. But then guess what? You run into the third candle, but a lot of times you will get this bam. Then there's 75% chance that this candle also you could do a double bid. On the likelihood, you're going to get 2 out of 1 on that. If that third presents itself, and then they're going to show that, then you can practice it. You can do 2 executions that, and you could double that on your fourth and your fifth candle normally. But it has to be an ocean here. It has to be an ocean to even consider that.
What do you mean by ocean? What do you mean by ocean?
Ocean. Okay. Ocean is okay. Right here. This is your ocean. Because at least in that view, you don't see no candles or anything. It's being respected. This is called an ocean. Got me?
Okay.
Yeah, I learned this. Some years back. From one into win-win situation is an ocean. That means there is a no man's land. That means right now, because one thing about it is, in philosophical sense, one thing about candles tend to have an eye. Okay. When there's no eye, when they got the eye, but the eye don't have nothing to see, it's a straight ocean. So basically, the candle's gonna feel comfortable making the asset gonna feel more comfortable making his move. The likelihood of it. Got me?
Mm-hmm.
So, but guess what? Now here, bam. Look, now you see. Now where you see the wicks, it wicked out right here. Now this is a demand and supply zone here. Reason this demand and supply zone here is because of this. Could it initiate the direction? 1, 2, 3. Then, hey, like I said, then you can this right here. You know what? I wouldn't. Me personally, I mean, you can. I mean, you definitely can, but to me that's kind of risky a little bit. I mean, you can do it, but if you make this move, you want to lower your bid because it's going towards that 50 line. Then also because the first candle here is not really committal. But you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's really a wick. There's really a double wick for real. It's not a flat. I just realized it. As you zoom in, you see it here? Because it's a double wick. So this is not considered a flat. I just seen that. So also, yeah, at the end of the day, you still gotta be aware of the support and resistance. Here in your areas, and your probably later on we could do. Nah, right here, they ain't gonna do it. You see, because there's a zone. You see, even respecting. Okay, so that, and then 1, 2. So that's, I mean, you could, but it's as not committal. Like sometimes a lot of people like to hit bam, 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 but too. See, a lot of people focus too much on quantity. I focus on quantity. I'd rather get 2, 3 quantity bids than trying to get 8, 10 of them and hope and pray that I get many of them. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's all about getting your confirmation. Like some might hit like 10, 12, 14 on a 30-minute. On like 30 minutes, I might get 3 or 4. But hey, I'd rather be 4 for 4 and then 6 for 10.
Right.
You see, always go by the philosophy. You don't do it till you get it right. You do it till you don't get it wrong.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to practice on this.
Yeah, like I said, we're gonna do practice on it. You know, like I said, that's why I say I'm gonna give you the introduction. You know,
I definitely like to learn it though.
Sure. Yeah, like I said, you know, I like I said, even though time compressed a little bit, but I just want to show you, like, hey.
Reminds me a bit of what reminds me a bit of what Doc was telling us about, how to read the candles and when to get in and out on the third, fourth candles, and really riding that trend and momentum. What time frame is this?
What time frame is?
Yeah, what time frame?
Bam. You see? Oh, this is the 5.
5 minute?
5 second.
5 second time frame?
5 seconds. Yep. Hey, you see what I just did?
Mm-hmm.
How I hit that? Because you see, because sometimes you may not get sometimes you may not even get a doji, but sometimes if you don't get the doji, and if you get the strong moves, if you do get an impulsive strong direction, but you can still go for that fourth candle, and you see what happened, right? How I got that? So while I was on the phone, wasn't I while we up here? Have you noticed I was 4 for 4?
Not bad.
I saw you execute about 2 of them.
Yeah, I did 4.
I didn't see the third or the fourth one.
You got one of them. I did a double.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 12. I did a double. Yep. So and not only got to talk it, I got to walk it too.
Yes, sir.
That's a strategy how I grew the count from 100 to 1,000.
So, question: is the zigzag? Is it doing it by itself, or are you the one
It
that's
does
doing
it by itself.
Oh wow!
Yep, it does it by itself. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Man, I wish they had that on Trading View.
Exactly. But I'm gonna get introduction. So I like how so I could get confident with me calling the shot. I wanted y'all to see with your own two eyes. To me, I feel like I'm in. Like I told you, I am the diamond hands. No pun intended, but I am the diamond hands. I don't need the diamond hands. As a matter of fact, I could say I'm better than the diamond hands.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yo, like I said.
With the parabolic SARs.
Yep. Yeah. See, the thing is like I decide, you know what? That's why I told Dre, I told you. I said, you know what? That's it. It's time for me to let out the cannon. So now I'm gonna let out the cannon. So so now you're gonna see numbers. So why bring now I got the skill set, I got the leverage, I got the tools, I got something that could be very attractive for bringing in people in the business. Yep. So that strategy, this is the exact same strategy I grew the account from 100 to a stack, then 100 to $600. Like I feel like I can. I mean, I'm not being conceited. Nothing like that. I'm being humble, but I'm just being like, hey, being raw. Like, look, dude. Like when you get confident, you can make this in your sleep.
Nah, for sure.
This is what I'm telling you. This is through. I don't want everybody. I want everybody to say anybody can do this too, long as you practice, long as you spend enough time. Keep in mind, I've been utilizing this type of strategy for 8 months for me to figure this out. Now that's the fourth candle right there. But now you see that's why I say you gotta be careful. You see this right here. You wanna wait this out. You gotta be careful because that would have snatched you out. That's why I say that fourth candle that can really snatch you. Like you're not gonna win them all. At least on this strategy, I say in the last 3-4 weeks. Okay. Now hold on, here it is. Okay, bam. That right there in that situation, you know, like hey. Hold on, wait a minute. No, I ain't gonna go for it. I'll about to sling it, but nope. But so you gotta have control. Sometimes it could take over you mentally. Sometimes, but all I'm saying is, look. Sometimes the market get very volatile. Sometimes you want to look. Sometimes you gotta really. The next thing we'll talk about is when to determine if it's a good time to trade. We're gonna talk that in another session. There are many tangibles to this. This is just one part of it. You wanna have like sometimes the market can get real volatile. And I'll show you some examples of, and then you be like, okay, some days you be like, you know what? Nah, I don't want no part of this. Like it was just built to snatch your money from you. That's why I say it's your side. You want to have mental control. You want to make sure your mind is right before you get up here. So, like I said, this is just the first. This is the intro. This has been through months of studying, to taking notes and everything. You put my money until I say, okay, I got it. It's never too long. Sometimes it might take several months. You know. See, that's not good. I wait for the third candle in that situation. See, I was waiting for he went there. I waited for that third candle, like this candle. It's not pull right back. So this one, it was on the right momentum. I would have executed this on the third candle. Remember what I told you about this? In that situation, the first candle, and then if it slows down, pump the brakes, then it resets, then you always execute on the third candle, not the fourth candle.
So you're always looking for flats too, as well, correct?
Yeah, it has to be flats. Has to be flats. Absolutely. Yep. Look, once you conquer that, once you understand this, dude, Dre. Hey, I apologize for holding this back for too long.
What you got to apologize for? You want to make sure that it's right before you start presenting, and you need to know. You need to make sure that you know what you're saying.
Yeah,
so that you're going to be able
to articulate. I had to have confidence. But it's different between confidence and doing it, and then confidence letting it out the woodwork.
Absolutely, but you know, the more that you do things like this, tutorials with other people, not just yourself, doing tutorials with other people, that's how you're going to get better at you know, just being able to speak on what you're doing and how you're executing it. You only get better when you're putting yourself in the fire. And that's a lesson. Yes. That's a lesson in itself for all of us.
Yes, absolutely. So that's what it is. So, you know, that's why I say, man, but you know, like I said, man, focus one thing at a time, but keep in mind, like all this, we really actually learned this stuff. It's like English to Jamaican. Once you learn it, but sometimes you got to get familiar with it. That's all. You know, it's just a different angle of it. It's the inverse. It's just an inverse way. But when you get the education, you understand how it moves. The market structure is still being respected regardless. You know, so that's all I'm saying. So it's just what it is, man. So yep. So that's a bit. You know, this definitely once you understand those tangibles, Dre, it's a lot of money to be made. Like I said, at least on last 3 weeks, 4 weeks, at least 3-4 weeks, I would say my percentage was more like 72. I think what 72 or 75, 75%. That's pretty good.
Yeah, damn good.
75%. You know, to be quite honest with you, I'm actually kind of disappointed in that because the ones majority of them that I did miss, it was all because of lack of discipline. I feel like I should be at 89%. Just that's all I'm saying. So it's all about being disciplined. Because sometimes it's human nature. Sometimes emotions get the best of you sometimes. That's just human nature. That's why I bring it because, like I said, because me and Dr. Curry, we have two different. We're two different traders when it comes to binary options. Everybody got their own strategies. Then I can show you one day, then I'll show y'all how to execute, how to make good decisions on a 30-second. You'll run into a situation like, you know what? Sometimes you can do a 30-second, you can do a 1 minute, but I leave that for another day. Just focus on one thing at a time.
I'm gonna have to try to get up there tonight. I'm gonna mess with it tonight. Honestly.
Yeah, I'm going to get up there tonight. Because a lot of times I trade. I usually do burning options around like usually like 9 and 10. Sometimes like 10.
Yeah, I'm definitely. I'm on it with you tonight, man. For real.
Okay.
Also, I'm gonna set up the Monday box and gotta go. Gotta make sure I got that 4-finger strategy.
Yeah, man.
It's locked in time. I gotta write my
sometimes I
notes
go
down.
over that too. Like I said, how I do it.
You said what happened now?
Yeah, maybe we'll probably go over that anyway too on a 4-finger.
Cool. Yeah, I'm about to gather all my stuff, my notes, all this, get everything. Yeah, I gotta be more organized this year, man. More just aligned with everything this year, man. So
Dang, that would have been a good move right there. Boom. Sometimes you just had 1, 2, 3, and 4. Oh, yeah. On right here, if that fourth candle be in the midst of that 50, sometimes you might want to wait to the third and second
or to go
expire.
above it a little bit more.
See if it's going to, you might wait a second longer. As far as like if it's going to reject or is going to go above it.
Right.
Yeah. That's another whole different thing. And then if you do that, and then boom, then every two, then boom, every two, boom. Sometimes if you get on the momentum, you go get every two, you keep going up, so you keep on doing it until you hit the zero. When you hit did it, sometimes you keep on boom, cha-ching, 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 then until you get it wrong, then that'd be okay. But remember, you got like 3, 4 of them before you didn't get the next one. You still profiting.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about profiting. Like I said, man, like this, if you're trying to find a way to grow an account 5%, 10%, 5%, 10% a day, hey, there you go. But other than that, man, I was wanted to show y'all, just a bit here. So, just okay. This situation is rejects third candle. This is the third candle right here. Boom. You see right here when it resets itself. You see if it pull back and then it hit the zone. Once it is in the zone and it goes. Remember, I would tell you the third candle. Boom, boom. Then that candle, you go for it. You go for that third one, and then if you get that one, then you go for the next one. Then you can keep on going until you get it.
Okay.
But like I said, it just like when you look at it, you look at the past, you'll see what I'm talking about. It still followed chart dynamics. And I learned part of the chart dynamics from Dr. LA. It all follows the same thing. It doesn't matter. Boom, 2, 3, 4. You see, sometimes you just got to just, like I said, dude, like, yo, you are the ATM, bro. You in control of that. Simple is going to be simple. I'm a simple person. If in your mind is simple, it's going to be simple. If in your mind is simple, it's going to be simple.
You typically do this every 5 seconds. You trading in just a 5 seconds, right? Time frame, not time frame, but
I still use the 5-second time frame. I stick to that 5-second time frame. 100%.
It's incredible. And now that I'm just recognizing this, when you're talking about going after the third, anytime after the third flat, and all you got to do is catch that one candle. You catch that one candle on that second. That's it. That's the beautiful thing about the binaries, and it'll keep you. Yeah.
Yep. dude, it took a long time for me. Like, you know what? I'm gonna find out what worked for me. But you know what I found out throughout the years, Dre, of trading? It been 5 years. I mean, of course, you learn things. You find out you had everybody mindset but yours. I know that's deep. It's something you got to sit down and you think about. Like you learn when you think is right. You're not having an educator, but when it comes to finding out what works for you, then you realize, hey, you learn the things. So why? Hold on a second, baby. Like I said, I'm about to go. But yeah, I was saying, like I said, you just find out you have everybody mindset but yours. I know that's deep, but just think about that. Yep. So other than that, man, we'll definitely connect on tonight, man. I just something want you just to think about, man. You know. But like I said, y'all, this is a journey.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I got a little bit more in the canon. So this is just one part on it. You know. Hey, man, I appreciate you, man. Hey, hey, that's why we're a team. Yeah, talk to me. Y'all have a blessing, man.
All right, bro.
Hey, man, all love, man. I still owe debt to you, man. Yeah, absolutely, man. But hey, man. But other than that, man, y'all definitely have a blessed one.
You too, brother.
Right, bro.
Pay it forward.
Enjoy.